now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first ever live P.I.E.S with Prabhat. Today, for this special event, we have a very special guest, President Soraya M. Coley. My name's Daniel Foncello. I'm a fourth-year economics major. I serve as your College of Letters, Arts, and Social Sciences Senator, and next year I'm going to be your ASI Vice President.
Yay!
So, if you didn't know, P.I.E.S is an acronym. It was thought up by PJ and his team.
And we have pies.
And we have PI here. It stands for Policy, Inclusivity, Engagement, and Student Government. It is your ASI President's monthly Instagram TV show. And here he is. He provides updates with campus news, student government, and other announcements on behalf of our ASI team. It's also Prabhat's opportunity to answer questions from his fellow Broncos. That's you guys. For this very special live recording, Prabhat is joined by our university president, Soraya M. Coley, to answer questions that were previously submitted by students via social media and email. So we're going to go ahead and get started today. Please help me in welcoming ASI President Prabhat Jamal Madaka and University President Dr. Soraya M. Coley.
Thank you.
So thank you both for being here today for this series for students and the campus community in person, actually, which is a lot different than what we've been doing the past year. So this series, Prabhat, started remote when we were online last semester. So what does it mean to you both to be here live and in person for this event today?
So first of all, it's honestly a great experience right now, seeing all of your faces, because we didn't have much of that from the get-go, especially because everything was online. And this is honestly such a great experience for me as well, because my term is coming to an end, and I want to end it off strong, seeing all of your beautiful faces. So thank you for being here.
I would certainly ditto what Prabhat has just said. I think for me, it gives that sense of the collective engagement on a university campus. It's about people coming together, the learning, the developing, the teaching, the operational, all of the operational functions. And so it feels as if there is some movement towards normalcy, but it's going to be a very different experience altogether. So I'm just thrilled to see everyone and being able to see the collective. So thank you.
Thank you, guys. Well, we're going to get started with questions submitted by students. The first question is, do you like Target?
President Coley, go ahead.
Well, let me just say, I tend to go to those stores that are closest to me. So when I was in Bakersfield, I use Target, I use Walmart. I don't know if there's something underlying that question, but I certainly know that I have oftentimes I find what I'm looking for when I go to Target, and so that makes me go back.
So I pride myself on walking into Target and coming out with nothing. That's one of my goals, because it's very hard to do that, and I've honed that skill. But however, now I'm just a cart pusher for my girlfriend every time I go to Target. So that's become my secondary occupation. So that's why I do love Target.
Okay.
Did you meet her at Target?
She would have loved it if we met in Target, but no. We met actually in the residence halls freshman year.
Okay.
Target's very romantic. So the second question, what is your favorite place to eat on campus?
In the ASI office, just kidding, no. My favorite place to eat was, when I was a freshman, we used to have Einstein bagels. I remember that. I used to always go there to get my cheddar jalapeno bagel. But now my favorite place to eat is Center Point, because I get to eat with my friends, and I get to eat with a lot more students and interact with them. And I also like a good Subway sandwich as well.
I think for me, it's there are just so many great places to eat. Certainly with the Collins College and the students, so RKR, I also appreciate the KW. I also, the Bronco Student Center, and that's one of the things that I look forward to re-engaging with as we end up thinking about how to really bring the campus community together.
Okay, sorry, we're gonna take a little break here for a second before I get to the next question.
No, I think this is all part of our campus community. And so it's important that we hear, whether it's from students, from faculty, from staff, and so that's part of us trying to find hear the voices of all. So, yeah.
Okay, so we're just gonna move on to the next question. A student asked, "Is there a counselor I can talk to besides my department chair?"
Well, let me just say, and I really appreciate, I see that Vice President Gonzalez is here and others that are part of student affairs. And yes, in fact, there is someone else that students can talk to. I oftentimes find that many times they'll have their initial outreach to a faculty member, but it's also important that, and that's part of what feeling engaged, an engaged campus is like, to know that there are a variety of services and programs. There's the Care Center, and there's, I said, under Vice President Gonzalez's leadership, is a really rethinking of how to provide multiple services and programs for students that are more tailored to the unique needs. And so I think we've done a great job up to this point, and now I think it's been an opportunity for us to think more holistically. And so yes, it's a great question. There are other avenues, other resources, and quite frankly, what I would say is that faculty, they've been trained in a particular discipline, but oftentimes they they wouldn't have the professional skills and know-how. But we do want to make sure that they have the knowledge on where to refer students, so that regardless of office or classroom, that we can link students to these resources.
Yeah, and another thing too is that many colleges also have peer mentors. So they're your advisors who are your peers as well. So they can help you with what's happening, because they might be senior or junior if you're an underclassman, and they might be helping out with what classes to sign up for, or just like how to navigate school life as well. So being a peer mentor and also utilizing peer mentors is also a great way of like an advisor type of deal as well.
Okay, awesome. So the next question is, how to help with social anxiety while in college?
How to what?
Help with social anxiety while in college.
Everyone suffers from social anxiety. It doesn't matter if it's a small form or a big form, that is just a way of life. That's how we evolve, that's how we grow. And the thing here is that we're given the tools on how to either because a lot of people just want to hide their social anxiety. But however, I feel like it's a good way to build yourself up, right? Because even though you might be in a position like me as ASI president or something like that, I'm anxious when it comes to like being social and being out there, being on stage, or sometimes where I'm like very nervous. But the thing here is that you're not alone. That's the primary thing to look at as well, because almost everyone I know has some form of social anxiety, and that's also with COVID as well. COVID has brought that up with everyone being virtual. So the thing here is just like, take a step at a time, take deep breaths, have the support system you need, and you're on the best path that you need to be on.
Yeah, and I think that the only thing that I would add is that sometimes anxiety can lead to greater challenges, greater problems, and so I agree that anxiety and uncertainty and all of those kinds of things that just happen when you go into an environment that's unfamiliar. I always encourage people to take deep breaths and to say, I am okay. I'm going to be fine in this, in whatever the setting one is in. But to know that part of life is leaning into and engaging in circumstances that you've never experienced before, and knowing that there's something you can learn about yourself, something you can learn from the experience. Again, it's on this kind of continuum, because on the other end of that continuum is anxiety can really lead to an individual shutting down, isolating themselves, and so we don't want that to occur either. And so it's being able to know when you need help, and knowing that in so many ways you're not alone. That people may seem to have it all together and not be anxious, but there are moments when we all can feel uncomfortable, but you lean into it and you do it anyway, and you get onto the other side, and you now should applaud yourself to say, I was anxious going in, but I got through it, and I'm okay. I'm looking for my next challenge.
Okay, so sticking on that theme a little bit, how is the campus addressing mental health, well-being, and counseling services?
Well, I think the first way, and I know that we have had various services, and but I think what we have come to really understand is the magnitude of need that has emerged, our needing to compartmentalize what is needed to link the student with the right type of service, and to understand that we need to find ways where, for those students, for example, that are isolating, and how do we connect them to the services and the opportunities for them to deal with whatever is challenging them. I think we need to destigmatize this sense of needing help and acquiring help. And I think that that's what, again, under Vice President Gonzalez, as looking at a much more holistic program of services that make it okay for students to have access. And it's not just students. I think faculty and staff, we all benefit from those moments where we can reflect and have support. Again, it's on a continuum from just some element of talking and engaging to really needing intervention in a much more psychological manner. And I think that's where this more multi-purpose approach is going to be beneficial. I think we also need to look at partnering with community mental health services and other programs that are deeply rooted in having provided these services. So it's something that we are very cognizant of, and I think that, as Prabhat mentioned, the pandemic has really elevated the sense of isolation, the sense of loneliness, the sense of it feels risky to step out and meet new people. And so those are the kinds of things that we want students to know, that we're here for them, and that we want to make sure that we connect them with the kind of support and affirmation that they need.
Yeah, mental health is a basic need. One thing for sure is that our ASI action plan for the past few years always encompassed mental health and advocating for mental health. Whether that being, and one thing we've also noticed is that change cannot happen overnight, and then it has to happen over a period of time. So that is why each ASI administration, from my predecessors onwards, we've been working on picking at a way on how to make mental health like a major priority. And the university has been doing a great job with that as well. And the thing here is like hoping for the next administrations to continue working on mental health mental health policies and whatnot. Because one thing for sure is COVID has shown us what we need to see when it comes to mental health and other basic needs. And we need to be advocating for that, especially because we're a school with a lot of first generation immigrants. We're a school with a lot of student parents. We're a school with a lot of international students. And the thing here is that some of these cultures don't value mental health. Coming from a culture where my parents and their ancestors didn't value mental health, so breaking that stigma, allowing for there to be resources, and showcasing that you don't need to follow the path set forth by your predecessors. You follow the path set forth what is best for you, and that is basically what hopefully I want to see thriving from this point onwards, going in the future.
And I also want to follow up on something that Prabhat just said, because I think it's very pertinent, because there still remains in many communities the stigma around mental health. And I think what is emerging from Vice President Gonzalez and Dr. Grady's work within the division and across the division is this concept of wellness. And so you are well physically, whether or not you're well mentally, as opposed to, I think, again, the mental health stigma, just the phrase stigmatizes, is stigmatizing for some students, and won't seek help even though they may need it. And so I think we're trying to incorporate and develop a communication approach that also understands the stigma of asking for help.
Do you know any services on campus where students can go?
Yes, CAPS. You guys can find the information on the ASI website, and it's pretty much on every syllabus. If you guys look at it, the professors put up, so you guys can look at that to schedule an appointment and whatnot. If you have any more questions and you want to talk more about what you can do to create some change within these systems, ASI is a perfect place to bring it up to. And of course, you guys can send an email to VP Gonzalez or anybody else too. They're more than willing to hear out your concerns or any comments you might have.
And I think we also want to, in addition to syllabi, we want to make sure that in all of the ways that students engage on the campus, that they have access to information, and that it's not related to, which office I went to or which class I attended, but that it's just prevalent in the as a result of the experience that students will have.
Okay, so now moving away from the topic of mental health, we have students wanting to get involved, and they're asking, when can you join ASI if you're an incoming freshman?
So there's something called verification of eligibility. This is a thing where basically students cannot participate in a student leader position until they have served one semester on campus. And they have to go through, they don't have to have any disciplinary infractions or whatever, and they have to have a GPA over 2.0. So once you served, been at Cal Poly Pomona for one semester, you can be in student government and be involved. You can be part of the e-board of a club. You can be part of a cultural center, working with them as well. And everything basically, I know it sucks for that one semester, but getting your feet wet for that one semester, getting involved in programs like BASE that ASI has, getting involved in those programs beforehand so that you guys can become leaders in the future. Those are great ways to becoming leaders on campus.
Okay. President Coley, this one's for you. It asks, what is your favorite spot on campus? It could be relaxing, for doing work, just your favorite spot.
There isn't one spot. I think, when I think about the kinds of things that my husband and I enjoy doing, you will typically see us at athletic events. Then there are activities in the library. I come over to the Bronco Student Center and I'll get a sandwich or I'll get some coffee. And then the other week I was at the theater. And I miss those things. In fact, I know that I'm scheduled to attend. We've been having our musical classes outside, and so I'll go over and visit them. There isn't any one place. I will say that, and most often students may not even know that it's here, but we have also the Arabian Horse Center, and I was on foal watch my first year, 2015. So they called me at 1:30 in the morning. Now, I thought this foal was going to be born during the middle of the day, but apparently foals like to come like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. And so I jumped in my little Bronco 1 and dotted down there, and the students stayed in the stable, as part of, as the foal was emerging. So I got there just as Blake was being born. And so the students are down there wiping off Blake in the stable and said, President Cole, don't you want to wipe? Now, of course, I wanted to wipe Blake. And so I'm getting down there, and I'm really getting into learning how to attend to this foal. And then finally, you have to, the foal can't nurse until it can stand. So it takes forever for the foal to stand. And I thought I might be able to go back to bed, but to no avail. It took an hour or two for Blake to finally stand and nurse. And then the sac in which Blake is in has to naturally eject. So the student, I learned so much from the students that evening. And so it had to naturally eject, and they take the sac and they fill it with water. And of course they wanted to know, did I want to touch the sac? So that experience, I am very close to Blake. In fact, whenever we have any visitors, like trustees were here, we always take them down. Blake's in the picture. We just had an event this past weekend, and Blake's in the picture. So that's another one of my favorite. And then on the weekend, I'll oftentimes swing by and just check on Blake. So there's also some warmth between Blake and myself. But this is just a beautiful campus. You cannot find a campus where you just can't, relax and sit down. And I see more and more of these chairs out, and we want to do more of that, and also provide access to technology as students are out lounging and enjoying the campus.
Right, so you really learned by doing with Blake, right?
You do learn by doing, I'm now.
Put it into practice.
I can do that fold thing again,
Could you do it on your own?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Okay, so this one's for Prabhat. What has been your favorite part about being ASI president?
Everything, if that's an answer. But my most favorite part about being ASI president is having events like this, honestly, interacting with students. My favorite event of all time that I had this year was actually my first, it was virtual P.I.E.S with Prabhat, actually, with President Coley first semester. And of course, I also like the opportunity to talk to students whenever they come into the office, or when I'm just walking by and I'm like, some of my friends are like, why are you in a suit? Oh, I have that special meeting today. And they're like, and I don't like it as much, but at the beginning, but now I'm like, I'm going to miss it a bit. But it's like when random friends of mine just yell my name across campus, and I have to cringe and walk away because I'm like, I know, but still, don't say it out loud. But I'm going to miss that a little bit. But it just honestly, every part of it has been great. It's ups and downs, but it's been a great shaping of my career and college experience.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so as the year's coming to a close, what's something you guys are both looking forward to in the future?
Well, I'm looking forward to commencement. That is a time that I spend, like the day before commencement. I really spend in reflection. I reflect on the year, but I also reflect on the symbolism of the commencement. It symbolizes sacrifice for parents, for students. It symbolizes a new future, a moving into, in some cases, the unknown, but also into the known. And last year, because we were still in the throes of the pandemic, we had, I don't know, 15, 20, just we had five commencement ceremonies, I think, over 3 days, because we were just so, it was so important, and we did it at the Fairplex because we needed to have that sense of celebration and closure for our students and their families, because the year before we had not had commencement, and but we invited those students who wanted to come to last year's commencement. This year we're going to have it back on the campus, and the camp is just beautiful the way it's constructed, and the anxiety that I have around everything falling into place melts away when I walk down that the lane, and so that's what I look forward to.
I'm looking forward to almost the same thing. I'm looking forward to get my degree, graduate, and actually, I'm excited to go back home for a bit because I really miss my mom. But
Have you told her that?
I tell her that every day.
Good.
She knows. And then of course, I really miss her cooking as well. But I want to go back for a bit, spend some time with family, and then see what else life has for me afterwards. Because honestly, sometimes even I don't know. But we'll see what happens.
Okay, well, we are at our last question. It's kind of a difficult one. It is, are there more wheels or doors in the world?
I think there are more wheels in the world. That's my take on it. Because post offices use wheels for like all their mail,
They use doors too.
and they use doors too. But I think there's more wheels though, because they're tiny wheels in almost everything. Lego wheels for Lego sets. So
Lego doors.
wheels, but not that many. That's my take.
Well, mine, and that's such a profound question. I think there are more doors, and the reason I say that is, and it's more of a symbolic sense of opening new doors. People are opening new doors. They're closing those doors behind them where there may have been pain or frustration. And when I think about, doors into buildings and doors within buildings, and for me, it's that sense of adventure, of the opening and the closing of doors. I don't know if a Cal Poly Pomona student came up with that question or not, but it does cause one to pause for a moment and think about that. And does anyone know the answer?
I don't think
Or is
so.
it just for contemplation?
There are too many to count, so I don't think
I
we're gonna
see.
get an
Yeah, I
answer.
think it's for
Okay.
contemplation.
It's
Yeah.
contemplation. Okay, so I'll contemplate, and I'll be more cognizant of doors and wheels. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that concludes our event today. I want to give a special thanks to our guest, Dr. Coley,
Thank you.
for being with us today. And
Thank you. Oh, we're going to end it with it
Yeah.
falling down.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we got
Go out
through
with
it.
a bang, you know?
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we wanted to thank you for being with us today and supporting this Instagram TV series. I'd like to take this time to thank our ASI president, Prabhat, for not only being here today, but for an incredible year of serving our student body and leading our ASI student leaders, and for being a great friend. Finally, I'd like to thank everybody who was able to be here in person today. And to those who joined us on our streaming channels like Instagram. Your support means so much to the ASI team, and we really appreciate you guys. So thank you.
Well, and I also want to just take a moment and congratulate Elisa and Daniel for stepping up and running I think that a lot of times people are reluctant. They hold back, but I'm glad that both of you leaned into this, and along with the rest of your cabinet. And so I want to congratulate both of you for as president and incoming vice president.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
good.
it.
One more thing, as I end all my Instagram TV videos, stay safe, aim for the stars. See you next time, Broncos.
And eat pie.
And eat pie.
Okay. Do I get to eat pie now?
You can eat as much pie as you want.
Okay. I've been wanting some pie.
You never brought me my pie.